George Harrison, the quiet Beatle, was known for his calm nature, deep spirituality, and love for peace. But even the most peaceful souls have their breaking points. For decades, fans believed that George was the most easygoing and forgiving member of the Beatles. However, few know the story of one woman who tested that patience more than anyone else, someone George reportedly could never forgive. The truth about who she was, and what she did, has left fans shocked to this day. To understand George's resentment, you first need to understand who he was at his core. Born in 1943 in Liverpool, England, Harrison grew up in a working-class family and found solace in music at a young age. His mastery of the guitar helped shape the Beatles' sound and set them apart from every other band of the era. But while the world saw him as a quiet genius, those close to him knew he had a fiery side, one that would come out when he felt deeply betrayed. The woman who drew out that side of George was none other than Pattie Boyd, the beautiful model who stole his heart in the mid-1960s. George met Pattie on the set of A Hard Day's Night, and the two quickly fell in love. They married in 1966, and for a time, they seemed to have the perfect relationship. Glamorous, creative, and deeply romantic. But behind the smiles and the fame, trouble was brewing. Their marriage began to unravel when Pattie became close to one of George's closest friends, Eric Clapton. What started as a friendship between two musicians soon turned into a love triangle that would go down in rock history. Clapton, who admired George immensely, fell hopelessly in love with Pattie. Unable to hide his feelings, he even wrote the legendary song Layla about her, a song that publicly declared his obsession with the wife of his best friend. When George found out, he was furious. The betrayal cut deeper than anyone realized. Not only had his wife fallen for another man, but that man was someone he considered a brother. To make matters worse, Pattie eventually left George for Clapton in Iowa 1974, though George outwardly appeared calm, even joking about the situation in interviews. Those who knew him said the pain lingered for years. Friends later revealed that George's hatred toward Pattie wasn't just about jealousy, it was about trust. He felt completely betrayed, one insider said. He gave her everything, and she walked away with the one person he trusted most. Even more painful was the fact that Pattie and George's relationship had already been strained by his spiritual awakening. George had become deeply involved in Indian spirituality and meditation, seeking a sense of peace that fame could never give him. Pattie, meanwhile, struggled to understand his growing distance. Their emotional worlds drifted apart, and by the early 1970s, they were living almost entirely separate lives. In later interviews, Pattie admitted that George's infidelity also played a role in their breakup. He had grown increasingly detached, and she felt unloved. But despite her honesty, George never truly forgave her for choosing Clapton. Even after they divorced, the wounds remained raw. When asked about Pattie years later, George would give polite, vague answers. Never cruel, but never warm either. Yet, in a twist of irony, George and Eric Clapton eventually repaired their friendship. The two even toured together and shared the stage many times. "We became friends again," Clapton said after George's passing. "He forgave me, though I'm not sure he ever forgot.